Alright, well, another year has passed for us on the channel. Want to thank everybody that's subscribed this year, that's tuned into the reviews, that's gone to the Facebook page and liked the Facebook page. Still looking for likes on that though, so if you haven't gone over there yet, make sure you get to that. Time is finally here where Josh and I are going to get into each of our top 10s for the year. Now, the rules of the top 10 are as follows. Obviously, it's only albums that we have reviewed throughout the year. You're not going to see a single album on either of our lists that we haven't done a review for. And as I say each of these albums, you can feel free to watch our reviews for those as well. And then the second rule, obviously, it is... What are you doing?
Fucked up.
And then the second rule, obviously, is that it has to be an album from this year. So all of these albums you'll see are from 2016. Let's get right into it here. Starting off with number 10. At number 10 for me, we got Meshuggah's The Violent Sleep of Reason. Josh is probably very upset with me right now that the fact that this is number 10 for
Fuck
me.
you!
But you know, this is an album that you know, really surprised me in a number of ways. I shouldn't have been surprised by this. I mean, Josh had been building it up for so long that the next album that Meshuggah is going to put out is just going to be absolutely chaotic, and that's exactly what The Violent Sleep of Reason was. Gent, you know, Gent is a genre, a subgenre of the heavy metal that I'm not too familiar with, but I know that Meshuggah are the kings of that genre, and they definitely showcase it with The Violent Sleep of Reason. So that's number 10 for me. Number 9, we got Megadeth with Dystopia. It's not Dystopia.
Dystopia!
Another one that really surprised me, especially with how bad the last album was, Super Collider. We all know how that went. And, you know, for Megadeth to bring in 2 new members to the band, it brought something great with them. The production on Dystopia was fantastic. You know, Dave Mustaine just brought out the best of both of these musicians that he brought in, and Dystopia was such a heavy, heavy record, and it really caught me by surprise. So that's number 9 for me. Number 8, we got Avenged Sevenfold with The Stage. You know, Avenged Sevenfold, I've been a die-hard fan of them for a very long time, obviously since high school. And, you know, for them to have an album this low on the list is a little upsetting. But again, The Stage is an album, like we said in our review, that I had to listen to a bunch of times to finally get used to know what exactly Avenged Sevenfold was trying to say with this album. And, you know, after those listens, I really grew on me as to what they were trying to portray with this, with their new drummer, and, you know, with some of the lyrics, and, you know, some of the, I hate to use the word again, but the progressive side of them that they've come to bring. That's number 8 for me, Avenged Sevenfold, The Stage. Number 7 for me, we got Volbeat with Seal the Deal and Let's Boogie. I just love saying that title. But, you know, that's number 7 for me. For this album, they had a new bassist in there, and then we did a review for it, and both of us very highly enjoyed it. You know, Volbeat's been a band that's been growing on me, you know, more and more as I listen to them, and I think their material has been excellent, and Seal the Deal and Let's Boogie has been no exception to me. So that's number 7 for me. Number 6, we got Korn with The Serenity of Suffering. That's worthy number 6, isn't it?
It is, sure is. I'm surprised it's placed there.
Yeah, a little surprising to be a little bit low on the list, but you know, Korn going back to what they're known for, you know, as far as sound-wise, is definitely worthy of being on anyone's top 10 albums of this year. It just showcases, you know, that sound that, you know, a lot of Korn fans probably missed with all of these albums that have come and gone. You know, with Head, without Head, you know, we've all seen it. But The Serenity of Suffering brought Korn back to form in a way, and you know, that's why it's on this list here at number 6. Great album from Korn. Number 5, we got Red Hot Chili Peppers with The Getaway. Was that your Anthony Kiedis impression? Red Hot Chili Peppers, they've been around for such a long time that, you know, they don't put out as many albums, you know, frequently as they did when they started. But the last album, I'm With You, was, everybody thought it was just meh, but I think The Getaway, even with a new guitarist that they had, I think this is their second album with their new guitarist, very catchy, very, it's not as funky and, you know, as upbeat as some of the older Red Hot Chili Peppers material, But I liked a lot of the lyrics in this one, and I like the overall message that the band was trying to say. So that's why The Getaway is number 5 for me. Number 4, we got the Amity Affliction with This Could Be Heartbreak. You know, probably wondering, I mean, if you're a really heavy metal fan, you know, why is a band like this, why is an album like this so high on your list? Yeah, this is material, you know, that the Amity Affliction kind of falls under, that takes a lot of getting used to, you know, with the vocal styling, you know, with the lyrics and everything. But, you know, this album was such a dark album for them, you know, losing a band member and everything, that this is another album where I really got behind the lyrics and a lot of the subject matter in these songs. And, you know, I felt it was very worthy of being up on the top 10, even though it's not the heaviest album. But, you know, I liked a lot of what the band was trying to say in this album, so that's exactly why I was worthy of number 4 for me. I listened to this album probably more than any other album throughout the year. What'd you say?
You're trying to convince yourself.
No, I really believe that. But that's why it's number 4 for me.
Hate you, Mom!
No, you're gonna hate me for this one, Josh. Number 3, we got Killswitch Engage with Incarnate.
Yeah.
And you know, when we reviewed this album, obviously this is one that Josh did not care for. It hit home with me a lot differently than it did him. I really enjoyed the album. You know, in the review I had said that the last few songs didn't quite do it for me. But you know, as that was back in March that the album came out, and you know, I've been listening to it more then, and the last few songs are still iffy to me, but you know, they've grown on me a little bit more than when we did the review, when we had only listened to it a few times. And I think Killswitch Engage still has a lot left in them. You know, some will debate that, but I think Incarnate showcased that maybe they'll focus a lot more on the material side as opposed to just touring all the time for these albums. They've said that they want to make more music and do less touring. So we'll see what they do with that. But Incarnate was a very good album to me.
My diaper has a lot left in it too. You don't see me bragging about that.
Number 2, we got Hatebreed with The Concrete Confessional. This is an album that's absolutely worthy, you know, for metal fans, you know, for fans of the hardcore genre, the whatever you want to call it. It's heavy. This album is straight up in your face heavy, and that's exactly what Hatebreed has been doing since they've started. The Divinity of Purpose, they kind of fell off a little bit. Still a great album to me, but this is just Hatebreed at its finest. Jumping over to Nuclear Blast completely, you know, they had a little bit, they were mostly Nuclear Blast just in Europe, but they did it completely with this one, and this album is just a sledgehammer to your ears, and it's fantastic. That's my number 2 for 2016. And finally, the moment we've all been waiting for, number 1 album of 2016 for me is
Code Orange.
No. The number 1 album for me for 2016, Metallica with Hardwired to Self-Destruct. Who did you expect for me to have as number 1 album of the year? Metallica putting out their first album in since 2008, to have such a better album than Death Magnetic 2. With respect to that album, I loved every single song on both of these discs. You know, Metallica has probably not showcased that they can do things differently, but they've showcased that they're straight up still Metallica, and it doesn't look like they're going to go anywhere anytime soon. Who knows how long it'll be if they do put out another album, but Hardwired to Self-Destruct made those 8 years of waiting, you know, worth it. So that's my number 1 album of 2016, and with that being said, this is going to be our last few videos of the year. Be sure to check out our reviews for each of the albums that I've listed in my top 10. Check out Josh's top 10 albums of the year. And we're going to see you again next year for 2017 with lots of more album reviews. So we'll see you then.